Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Pokemon White version. Last time, we had our climactic battle against Whitlia, putting these two teams that carried this journey across multiple dimensions to the test. Coming out on top of that battle, this time, we find ourselves back in Meloetta Town where this journey began, and began again, and began yet again. As this is going to be putting the final bow on this journey. Everything that we have not done, that I want to do, will be done. Starting things off, unfortunately I can't do this to the backdrop of Meloetta Town, but Accumula Town's not very far now, is it? I've never gone into Blair's PC. Inside of it, you have a mailbox where up to 20 pieces of mail are able to be stored. Mail can be equipped to Pokemon. But for a long time now, we've had an unread message from Bianca. Thank you for taking your time with Match! It was so excited! I was moved! We should match together again! Bye-bye! You're not very well versed in using cell phones, are you? This looks like predictive text abuse complete with stickers. Well, she sends you that on shaman paper and just kind of says that she appreciated the fact that you battled against her. It's a little bit cute, and we all know how Bianca is my favorite of the two rivals, so I thought that'd be a great way to begin. Second, we're flying off to Pokemon League. Why, you might ask? Why, because there is a post game, of course! No, there's really not. Though, with how this journey just never wants to end, I would not be surprised. I thought that Pokemon League would be a nice backdrop to doing something that, you know, I just kind of like to do at the end of it all. We have caught a lot of Pokemon. And, I'd like to remember all of the bit players. The ones that were the minor characters in this story, the ones who enabled us to solve puzzles, the ones who might have had smaller uses that were still important, even if they weren't part of the main team, because they made our travels what they were. Without them, we would not have been able to do many things. Back on our first day as trainers, we caught these 5 Lillipup, some more useful than others, who collected items for us. In a trade, we obtained Burke, a Lillipup from another dimension, who also was not as helpful as some of the other Lillipups. Salsa the Monkey helped us to defeat Sylan and Sharon in battles back when we didn't have access to many good team members and we might not have otherwise been able to win, and then became a star in Pokemon musicals. Haywire that never was had the wrong ability, so she never grew up to be as successful or strong as her older sister, but she lit up a dark cave for us. Throw, who is named in defiance of his really terrible English name, joined us in the fight with Lenora as a last-ditch effort, but was never needed. Fluffy helped us to show off one of the most fascinating in-game trades in the history of Pokemon. Raikou enabled us to fight against the mythical Zoroark, who is actually not mythical at all, a regular Pokemon locked behind an event. They just love getting you in those Toys R Us's, and now they can't do that anymore. Entei is the same story, Suicune all over again. Celebi enabled us to meet Zorua, yet another Pokemon that was locked behind an event even though it is not the least bit mythical. But we at least got to know its story. Darumaka! I'm not sticking your poop in my pocket, don't look at me like that. Backtracking! A painter in Castelia City wanted to see a rock type. You were the closest answer to it that we could do at the time. And I was very upset that day, hence your name. Victini was a mythical Pokemon found in Liberty Garden, a place that you can no longer access without a long-dead event, but we did it anyway. Boggle was our HM user for some time, and still continues to see a little bit of use to this day. Definitely one of the greater minor characters in this story. Zoroark! Put up more of a fight than the Legends of Unova, quite frankly, but was a rare battle that we got to see in the Lost Lorn Forest. Yeah, there was actually other Trubbishes that had the wrong ability. That was actually the only one, so never mind, it was just one. Clink was captured in the Chargestone Cave because it was a very easy Pokemon to catch that knew the move Charge, which came in handy in Opalucid for obtaining the Cell Battery. Blue Eye didn't mince words. He just showed us one of the greatest in-game trades in all of Pokemon. Just like Fluffy. Hordeor, sounds gross, is a Pokemon without an apparent purpose. But maybe someday. Dear Jeerling was caught so that we may show it to the scientist outside of Driftvale City to see the effects that weather have on the Deerling. It got us a Leaf Stone, when there's one on the ground next to the lab. You give Throw a run for his money. Necessity was our sweet ride who carried us all around the world and still sees quite a bit of use as well. I'm happy. I don't have to put Fly on Archeops because of you. Cobalion was the first of many easy legendary fights that we had. It battled us inside the Mistralton Cave and opened the way so that we could battle against Virizion, who was also kind of easy for us. Larvesta is only level 1. Darmanitan served as a boss fight outside of the Relic Castle when we were in hot pursuit of Team Plasma. Has an interesting ability, and that was definitely the most noteworthy thing about it. I still like its winking pupil. Well, you were technically the easiest boss fight we ever had, which is kinda something with how lucky I've been. Congratulations, Thundurus. Tornadus thought it could make trouble for Whitlia, and with the restraint of not using the Master Ball, yeah, it actually did cause a lot of trouble. Terrakion was one of our last battles before entering the Pokemon League. Zekrom helped us win the day against Team Plasma. Feebas was our first National Dex Pokemon that we were able to catch after obtaining our Super Rod. It was pretty momentous with how rare you are. Musharna was a rather remote boss fight that showed off hidden abilities. Your cry is still stunning and spectacular. Meloetta was a long-gone event with somewhat of a touching story with it that I ruined by converting it into All-Star. I am sorry. Volcarona, one of the most overpowered Pokemon of all time, and it became ours in a single turn. We're just that good. Another Darmanitan that I didn't need to catch, but just wanted something to challenge me that day. Smeargle, who I just kind of felt like catching to show off swarm encounters. Keldeo, another long-gone event we were able to see every side of. Blue 2, our admission ticket into the Hip Waiters Club that I cherish with me every day. Hurem, the shell left behind by Reshiram and Zekrom that we found in the giant chasm. Gorge, the rather interesting Munchlax that you're able to get in Undellatown only in the summer. Landorus everywhere. Or just in the Abundant Shrine if you have Tornadus and Thundurus. That's kind of the opposite of that now, isn't it? Ralts is living proof for White Forest being better than Black City, when saying that for 10 minutes is just not enough. Rotom, who we transferred in needlessly. Eeks, who made Rotom transferred in needlessly because we didn't need a Rotom, but it enabled getting access to the appliances in Shopping Mall 9. Transfer fodder! Transfer fodder! Transfer fodder! Aww, let us get the Gracidia flower in Lacanosa Town. Not quite transfer fodder as it was at first glance, but we got the Grizzliazorb from Getsus, and this is who it was meant to be with. Childhood trauma. And the last Pokemon that we ever obtained, Genesect, Team Plasma's ultimate creation, now in our hands. Thank you for all that you've done. Next, we're going to Undellatown, and I think you know why. We have one more battle left to do, and it is the hardest one of them all. But before we do, something that I sort of don't like is that the Pokedex entries are great. I hate that about this game. Why are they good? They should be terrible. They give me too many nightmares and make me think too much. Ugh, it's terrible. No, What I don't like is the fact that after your Pokemon evolve, they have really interesting Pokedex entries, but they don't pop up on screen for you to see them. You have to manually go and check them yourself. So what I thought I would do is, since we remembered all the bit players, I'd like to go through our team, and rather than just do a moveset run through, because we've already done that quite a few times recently, and you know what moves they have, I'd like to get to know them a little bit better. The formidable Pokemon. Part of the armor on its anterior legs becomes a giant sword. Its cry alone is enough to intimidate most enemies. The Thunderbolt Pokemon. This ill-tempered Pokemon is dangerous because when it's angry, it shoots lightning from its mane in all directions. The Intimidation Pokemon. It can expand the focus of its eyes, enabling it to see objects in the far distance as if it were using binoculars. The First Bird Pokemon. It runs better than it flies. It catches prey by running at speeds comparable to those of an automobile. Awooga! The Trash Heap Pokemon. They absorb garbage and make it part of their bodies. They shoot a poisonous liquid from their right-hand fingertips. And the Crystallizing Pokemon. They are born in snow clouds. They use chains made of ice crystals to capture prey. We've already seen Cryogonal's Pokedex entry, as it's the only member of our team that didn't need to evolve. But over time, I've been bringing up all kinds of stupid moves that Cryogonal is able to learn. It learns tons of physical moves that it has no business using, including Acrobatics, which is a very remote physical move that most physical attackers don't even learn. I've been leading up to something. Cryogonal, in its very strange, almost universal TM compatibility with useless moves, is able to learn Attract. You might notice that Hex is genderless. This is one of only 2 times this has ever been able to happen, the other being Staryu and Starmie all the way back in Gen 2, which was eventually patched out. Hex is able to learn Attract, and it can never use it. I mean, I guess technically there's Mew, but Mew's whole thing is that it can learn every TM move. This is a case where it was deliberately given access to a move that it's not able to use. It just kind of makes it even more mysterious of a creature, and I guess maybe with it just being such an ice-cold, heartless predator that lives in snow clouds, maybe it's lonely. Maybe that was Hex's whole thing. Hex definitely has the least amount of synergy with the rest of the team, so I think it actually kind of fits it a little bit. I like you, Hex. I like all of you. And I want you all to do well in this battle ahead. We have a matter that we got to attend to. "16 rare candies. I didn't use them against Alder the first time because I wanted to see if I could do it. And I didn't use them against Alder the second time because I felt like that would be giving in and admitting that I couldn't do it because we were so close the first time. I was happy that we had such a close battle with him, even if it didn't end in victory, so there was at least that. I'm kind of glad I didn't use them when I did, even if I recommended that you did. But without a shadow of a doubt, this is the most challenging of all the battles that we can possibly do. It is time. Terabyte is level 76, which is very respectable, very solid. He should be able to take a hit from just about anything that we're going to be going up against. I think Ottawa deserves at least a level or 2. She's been great. She's been very lucky, served us remarkably well. Haywire is tied for being the lowest member of our team, and she, I'm sorry, needs all the help she can get. Hex is weird. I'm not counting on Hex to be able to accomplish much in this fight. We know that she has a Garchomp. We tried that already when we did our trial run against her where I wasn't expecting to win. I don't think a Cryogonal can outspeed a Garchomp, especially not a Garchomp that is level 77, and I'm not even sure if it could if I raised it up to level 77. The thing about Garchomp is that it has speed that is just barely high enough to outspeed a lot of its counters, where I think its base speed is 102, and it just barely outspeeds a lot of pretty fast Pokemon. But I think we should at least give Hex a couple of these so it has a bit more of a fighting chance. Hilbert You know, him inflicting Toxic on something that I don't know how we're gonna deal with otherwise could come in handy. Is pretty bulky. I think maybe a couple of these do belong to you. Rock is simply a monster if used at the right time, and I think it easily deserves a couple of rare candies, if only so that it can hit just that little tiny bit harder. I tried looking for flying gems, I wasn't able to find any. I didn't want to outright grind for like an hour to get one. I'm just kind of accepting the lot in life that I didn't get one across all of our times going through caves, except for the one that we had when we challenged the Pokemon League. I'm fine going in with that. We still have 7 of these left. You know, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't just give 1 level to everyone at this point, because I feel pretty comfortable with the levels everyone's at right now, and I guess we could just raise them up across the board. I'll give 1 extra to Haywire, 1 extra to Ottawa. And that is the most depressing text box you have ever seen and ever will see. I've given a lot of thought to it. This is as prepared as we could possibly be without outright grinding. It's time we bite the bullet, because it ain't gonna get any easier if we just stand around. Oh, you've had a chance to get ready? I do want our Pokemon to have a match. Are you prepared to be my opponent? Never been more prepared in my entire life! Before I send out my Pokemon, my heart always begins to race. Interesting. My Pokemon and their Pokeballs are radiating a happy feeling. Are you the reason? What are you? Every time you hear this theme, you know you're in for one hell of a challenge. Cynthia opens with Spiritomb, level 75, Ghost Dark type with no natural weakness. Pressure for its ability with the moves Sucker Punch, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, and Double Team. I am not overly worried about anything that the Spiritomb can do to Ottawa, so we are starting this the way that this journey started. I'm gonna set up with a Swords Dance, counting on her to do Sucker Punch. No, she did not. She's doing something that I outspeed. Will-O-Wisp, okay. Taking a little bit of damage over time, but I more or less have broken even right now with how my Swords Dance is. I'm just gonna keep buffing against it. Your Shadow Ball's not gonna hurt. Your Double Team might suck, definitely. Okay, there it is. And why not? We'll go up to +6 because we can. There that is. Doing another Double Team. And it seems like you're just Double Team spamming at this point, so I see no reason not to heal off this burn if I outspeed you. Going for the full restore because I drained the riches of their fortune. I can even shout that loudly and they'll hear me because we're in Undella Town right now. Doing another Double Team, and all I need at this point is just for 1 waterfall to connect. If that can happen right now, I'm confident we can get the KO at +6. Should be really easy. Setting, yes! Oh yeah, there is the lucky Samurott that I've come to know and love across all of our travels. Yes! Beautiful start to this fight. Who's coming out next? Electros. Level 75, Electric type, Levitate for its ability, again with no natural weaknesses on her team, with the moves Crunch, Wild Charge, Flamethrower, and Dragon Claw. We're just gonna stay in, hope Samurott can handle it. Yes, I am faster. With +6, come on, +6, same type attack bonus. It was enough. Fine, okay. Now, that's the thing I was most worried about. Braviary, new addition to the team. You Elite Four members in whatever region you're in sure just love adding 2 new Pokemon to your team, no matter who you are. Is level 75, normal flying type. Unfortunately, does have a couple weaknesses. With the move, with Sheer Force for its ability, with the moves Brave Bird, Crush Claw, Shadow Claw, and Retaliate. I don't believe that Sheer Force benefits it in any way because only positive effects are affected by it. Wow, Ottawa, you are cleaning up. Sheesh. Lucario is level 75, Fighting Steel type, Steadfast for its ability, so if it flinches, it'll get a boost to speed. A bit of a remote ability, you don't see used that often. At least you don't see it activating often. With Extreme Speed, Dragon Pulse, Close Combat, and Aura Sphere. Okay. It was about time that Samurott's Reign of Terror was brought down a notch. If I'm hit one more time, that's gonna be it. Lucario goes down, and she is down to just 2 Pokemon already. There it is. The big bad level 77 Garchomp. The toughest thing that stands in your way is level 77 Dragon Ground type Sand Veil for its ability, which means nothing unless you activate the Sandstorm, with the moves Dragon Rush, Crunch, Earthquake, and Stone Edge. If I can be outsped by a level 75 Lucario, I can be outsped by a level 77 Garchomp. We're gonna chip damage with Aqua Jet, see where that gets us, and then move up from there. Eat it, Garchomp. That's why they call you Garchomp, right? Oh, what? What? Oh! Ottawa! Ottawa! What are you? Sheesh! Your luck, it never fails! Milotic is her last Pokemon, level 75, water type, Marvel Scale for its ability, so it gets a buff to defense if it is inflicted with a status ailment, with the moves Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Bulldoze, Dragon Tail. We're gonna go for Mega Horn. And okay. Well, I deserve that now, didn't I? You don't. Wow. Huh. Wow. Well, you all have a history of showing up haywire, but Ottawa, did you show up just everyone all at the same time? I only used 1 item. She had a full restore that she never used. Wow. That was beyond my expectation. What an exceptional battle. You certainly bear a resemblance to that trainer who faced Giratina. Oh, pardon me. I was just thinking out loud. I love being here in spring and summer. Can't stay all year because there's so much to investigate in Sinnoh as well. You're a great trainer, and it would make me happy to see you again sometime. As she says, she will battle once daily in the spring and the summer. And as she says, that is the second confirmation of timeline placement. We know from the Rocket Grunt that this takes place some several years after Generations 2 and 4, whereas Cynthia confirms that Platinum is the official canon version of the 3. But if you leave and come back, in the summer months, staying with her, you can see more people in their regular everyday lives. The ocean is so pretty, I love it, so I stayed underwater for a long time. I made everyone worry! Even distant Sinnoh is just a hop, skip, and a jump if I use my cargo plane. But I also love to travel the sky with a Pokemon when it's using Fly. I know, there's nothing that quite beats the feeling of standing on the back of a P-Dove and having it carry you hundreds of miles. I must say it's difficult for people to draw out a Pokemon's charm if they don't have any themselves. Ouch! Sick burn on those less talented than you. As the seasons change naturally, it is possible to see other people here outside of their work lives. Specifically, during the summer months, you can see Lenora here, who I did not get, and in the spring months, it is possible to see Chantal or Caitlin. It is implied that Caitlin is Cynthia's friend, the two of them know each other, and Cynthia is just merely allowed to use the villa, while Caitlin is off on her Elite Four duties. And that is all things. I hope that in our time together, I've shown you that Pokemon Black and White is a very expansive experience, that it has a wonderful story, has one of the stronger human casts that we've ever seen out of this franchise, and that being a big departure might not necessarily be a bad thing. I hope you like the team. I think they had very good personalities. Of course they had great synergy, and I think that the strategies used with each of them were really fun to pull off. Every one of them had some really big battle that was just really fun. Some were certainly more helpful than others. But I think they were a great team to me, and I hope they were a great team to you. I also hope that I've shown you that, hey, just because it has a trash bag Pokemon in it is not indicative of the overall quality. And besides, the trash bag Pokemon's cool, so shut up. No, but seriously. It's always about appreciating the work the developers did and just showing the appreciation that I have for the game, and I have a lot of appreciation for this one. Now, if you'll excuse me, this trainer is off to retire, to live a quiet life, as a fisherman together with his best friend. I'll see you guys for another adventure. Whoa, what? Did she just disappear? Did you know, before Marvelous Bridge was built, there was a girl who always played with Abra around here? She was so full of energy.